647-3776. Make sure you say who you're calling for. Also, please don't forget to leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. My name is Connor. I'm one of the hosts of the show. Glad to be here as always. Joined in studio with my friend Chris Appel. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good.
What's going on, man?
Nothing. Just we're all getting settled into the new recliners up at the theater and got some people like it. So that's good.
But has there been a lot of positive feedback?
Oh yeah, yep, 100%. Yeah.
No, is it half the theater has them and half is closed?
Yeah, we've got the other side closed. We're doing that side. Should be ready the first week of May, hopefully. So.
Hey, you better get that before summertime, man.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, we're not gonna. I don't think we're gonna have it before Avengers, which is disappointing. But
is it gonna be every theater as Avengers? Or you can kick every other movie out, probably.
I most likely.
We'll see.
Something like that.
When does that come out, Avengers?
April 26th.
Okay, that's gonna be huge. Dick, what's up, man? Oh,
nothing.
Surprised him.
I'm just trying to fix the Facebook Live feed real quick.
Oh, that's always a good thing to fix. Dick's the producer, director, talent. He's our triple threat. So anyways, we're the host of the show. If you've never listened to the Ticket Stub before, thank you for tuning in. If you have, remember your civic duty to tell a friend about the show because we want to keep growing and expanding the things that we are doing. We've got a good show today. We're going to do some movie news. After that, we are going to rewind, which is where we talk about the movies that we've seen over the last week. And then later on, we're going to be doing a top 3, which is something we do from time to time. And this episode is top 3 creeps. Did you find some good creeps, Chris?
I did. I think I did, yeah.
Yeah. Well, one thing
I wasn't sure what you meant, but I kind of...
That's one thing I want to talk about at the front of the show. I mean, we didn't really have a good definition for what a creep was, but what did you kind of use as your rubric?
I used people that are unsettling to watch.
Okay, so hard to watch.
Yes.
Yeah, people that kind of gave you a weird feeling. Dick,
yes.
Did you have any? Did you have like a criteria for creeps?
I did. It kind of like was a visual thing.
Okay, so
or
like
it might have
ugly,
been
ugly people.
Yeah, visual, or it might have been
Nosferatu.
Yeah, like
that would have been a good one.
that, or it might have been the intention of the person.
Yeah, I looked up creep, and it was basically just like kind of terrible person is what the definition of creep was. So I didn't really use that because that's a whole different category in my opinion. But yeah, it was people that kind of left a weird feeling. You know, when you see them on screen, you're just unsettled a little bit, I guess.
Yes.
And so we'll see if we have any of the same. Who knows? It seems like we never really do, but we all have pretty different tastes in movies, and different things come to mind with those kind of lists. But anyway, so we're gonna do that top 3, and then we're gonna do our rewinds, and then obviously movie news. Dick, you're Johnny on the spot lately, man. Sending me article after article. I love it.
I found some really interesting things going on.
I love it. I know. Yeah. I really appreciate it. You're kind of helping with the production of the show, and it's been a great thing. Because honestly, the movie news is sometimes one of my more questionable things that I bring to the show here, because I find some random and different types of things. But there's an article from Variety.com. You even had like real websites. You know, sometimes I'll pick like honeyboo.com and things like that, and that's where I'll find my news story. But you did Variety.com. Nicolas Cage is set to star in a martial arts action movie, which I guess it's titled Jiu-Jitsu.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That seems like a bad title. I don't want to be critical off the front.
I mean, you're really going to judge a Nicolas Cage title?
Yeah. Bangkok Dangerous.
Yeah.
Hey, that movie's not bad.
But Jiu-Jitsu,
but the title.
It seems a little bit on the nose. So basically, this is from the director who wrote and directed Kickboxer, or a couple of the Kickboxers.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Kickboxer Vengeance, Kickboxer Retaliation. I've heard this guy's name, and I'm not going to pronounce it correctly. Dmitry Logothetis.
Why are you keep trying?
Logothetis. Anyways, Jiu-Jitsu, basically, it's going to be Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage always is a golf, you know? Like,
hey,
they come over here and we play golf, and the winner just gets to win. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they are fearsome, and they are invaders, so those are bad words for us. But Cage's character and his team of jiu-jitsu fighters band together with Musai's character, who is one of the actors in the film who stars.
Is everyone like Japanese, but he's like the only white guy?
That is unclear. Is Alan Musai? He was stars in Kickboxer. He wasn't Chinese or Japanese, was he?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Anyways, they
you
tried.
mean Jean-Claude Van Damme?
No. This says Alan Musai, who stars in Kickboxer franchise. So he must be one of the other guys.
Okay.
I mean, I know Jean-Claude Van Damme, and his name is not Alan Musai.
We know. Maybe that's the switcheroo.
Ooh, is that his alter ego?
His alter ego.
Also known as. So anyways, this Dick, would you say that this sounds like a good movie, a bad movie, or in between?
Oh, it sounds ridiculous.
It does.
I don't really know. It's funny because you never know a place for Nicolas Cage today. Because if you think about it, you have your distributors, and there's either on demand at home, we have Netflix now, or streaming now, and then there's like the big budget ones where we'll put you in the Videodrome in LA or something like that. And then it's like, well, where do you put Nicolas Cage's jiu-jitsu? I don't really know.
This guy?
I think really what you're going to be looking at is whoever's producing the show. That's where you're going to see it.
Hey, well, look up Alan Mosa and put. That's who Chris thought I was talking about. Can you put him on the
I
screen?
can look it up. Hey, that is him.
No, that is not.
No, no. I think that's where it's going to be interesting because it's kind of like those Steven Seagal movies where they make them all in Ukraine, and then it's like you'll never see them until 10 years later, and you're like, "Whoa, you made 15 movies last year." And I don't know. I want to see the movie just based off the aliens.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
You didn't have a picture with his shirt on?
Well, I thought you wouldn't want that. The actual Alan Moose. There's another one. Yeah.
Ah.
Chris is getting a little excited over here looking at these
like
shirtless
it.
pictures of Elaine. It's Alain, not Alan,
Oh,
as you might
I see.
expect Alan to be spelled. Yeah, that's the thing. You know, I can't imagine this is a big budget movie. That's gonna I can't imagine there's very much money behind it. But Nicolas Cage is a wild card because he'll make a critically acclaimed movie, which I guess that's all been a while that's probably really happened. But then he'll come back and make some Mandy, which is like you need to be tripping on acid or something like that to truly appreciate. But then Mom and Dad was kind of interesting and weird, I mean, like he's all over the place. I can't imagine. I don't know how old Nicolas Cage is right now.
he's ageless, man.
Well, he did drink some blood of some animal or something like that because
Was he part of the Tiger Blood thing?
maybe he did some tiger blood. I don't know. He's 55 years old. I can't imagine him doing convincing jujitsu. That's just me. I don't know. Chris, what do you think?
I think he can. He's
You believe?
he's quite an actor.
Well, he is quite an actor. That is true.
And I have not been disappointed with his performance in anything that I've seen. So
That's true.
But it's different to be acting and to have like your crazy freak out, and then to be legitimately doing jujitsu.
okay, if Steven Seagal
All right, I just want to let you know
can do this,
I found the guy for us.
Yes.
And I'm going to put him up real quick.
This is
For
a
the
real
kickbox.
guy.
This is the kickboxer
Alan
conversation. So Alan Musai.
Tweet at us if you remember this guy, because I
So-
don't remember him.
I don't remember him at all. He's a stunt dude. And what's funny, when you said kickboxer franchise, they didn't mean like the first three. They meant like the last three. So
Well,
there's like 10 of them.
It said Kickboxer
Okay.
Vengeance, Kickboxer Retaliation.
okay, so he's like the new Jean-Claude.
2018.
Oh, have they been making new kickboxer movies?
Yeah, 2018. Group rewind.
Skip ahead of the drawing. We don't need that.
Oh man. The
okay,
original Kickboxer is such a classic, and I don't think they intended it to be.
Wait a minute. Is this director from the new ones too? Logothetis?
Yeah, that's your buddy.
My buddy. I don't know. Maybe I thought I'd heard of him, but maybe I haven't. So basically, we were baited and switched here. This is hazing. This is illegal to make us think that they were referring to the Jean-Claude Van Damme kickboxers when they, in fact, were not. They were talking about these ones.
So,
Oh, this one has the dude from Game of Thrones in it.
well, if that's what's going on with this movie,
Mountain.
then you know where it's going to end up.
So this is gonna be terrible.
direct,
All right.
direct to DVD.
Any hope I had for
They
this
won't
is
even put
gone.
it on streaming. It'll just be a DVD. So it's like, oh, there's only 10 people who are going to be able to buy this movie.
Yeah.
And it won't even be like our region code or something.
You know what's weird to me
Only
is
overseas.
This movie. You ever seen the movie Waiting?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
All right, so they
college
made a
used to
sequel.
love-
They made a sequel
I've
called
seen that
Still
too.
Waiting,
I've
right?
seen that too.
And so I was like, man, when did this movie come out? Because that had to have been right when like streaming was getting popular, and so they did the DVD thing.
It was like 08, wasn't it?
It was it was a lot later, and then I went to like the IMDb credits of like oh, did you know this? And they said that one of a host of a YouTube show, this is his favorite movie of all time. Still Waiting, like the sequel.
Oh, the sequel.
The sequel.
The sequel's
Here, I'm
rough.
pulling it up real quick.
The first Waiting is really good, especially if you've ever
It
waited
is.
tables before. If you've ever had that job.
Mega 64, which I guess I don't know if a lot of people have heard of them, but yeah, they said like this is his favorite movie. He owns every single copy, like different versions of the copies he could find, like DVD, Blu-ray, Chinese.
That's got to be
version.
that's got to be like some trendy thing where he like thinks it's funny to
So
love
people
that
find
movie.
these movies good. So Nicolas Cage, I'll be buying your Blu-ray version of your movie.
Right. Buy it for PSP or whatever, what little like video game systems there are. All right, well, let's move on. Deadline.com, another article that Dick sent. Thank you again, sir.
Yeah.
Deadline.com, Disney reinstates director James Gunn, who could have seen this coming?
I don't think-
Actually, it's very surprising.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of
Very
people.
surprising.
No, they're doing this with everybody. This is the whole everybody got Me Too'd, and then they go for 2 years back into the closet. Or that's
So you're
bad-
saying
bad choice of
Roseanne's?
words.
You think Roseanne's gonna get her show back?
Well, no, that's because that's a whole Republican thing, though. That's the problem there.
That's the taint, tainted mark.
Yeah,
you
that's-
can't have it.
That's the taint. but it's the whole thing where you do something bad, you go away for a little bit, and then all of a sudden you get to come back. I mean, Louis C.K. is doing comedy again.
Yeah, but nobody decided for him to come back. He's just going into clubs and
just
doing
doing it.
stuff, and
Yeah, but
then continually getting in trouble.
But they're letting him. But like,
I wonder how that really worked though, like the avalanche. So he does this thing, like the report comes out in whatever magazine. Do you think someone just called him and is like, yeah, we're not going to book you. We're going to cancel the book. Like,
for sure, yeah.
And so he basically got 15,000 calls. Like, we're canceling you. We're canceling
because he
you. We're
doesn't
canceling
just
you.
go into clubs. Like he's doing touring dates and stuff like that. Like all these comedians are. I mean, they're
Is he?
Yeah, but I don't think
think
comedy.
he is.
I don't think comedy
think he
clubs
is.
really have a good like standpoint on this kind of issue. I think they're like, he sells tickets. Let's get him in here.
Yeah.
And because I mean, kind of think about comedy clubs are one of the nastiest places you can go to when it comes to conversations.
Well, he's got a thing where he takes up all the audience's cell phones before he performs.
I've heard of several comedians doing that.
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
They actually have this little thing you can buy. It's a little bag that you put the phone in, and it like locks itself, and you get to hold it, but you can't use it. And then the way you unlock it is on the way out. They have like a little machine that unlocks it for you. So that way you have possession of it. I've heard of several comedians because they're tired of their acts getting like filmed and put on YouTube, and then they get in trouble and lose all their.
Tim Allen said that when he was here in Houston. He's like, "Don't pull out your phones and be tweeting stuff that I'm saying." Or,
But you were doing it
I don't-
anyways.
no, I
You were like,
wasn't.
screw it, selfie.
No.
Anyways, but here's the deal: the James Gunn stuff, like.
I think it's a good topic because what I'm interested in is the in production of movies. So when you have James Gunn, who wrote part of the script, was actually I think they finished writing it.
I think he wrote the whole script. Yeah.
Then the news came out. Then he goes, "You're not a director anymore. See you later." This is where I think the reason they invited him back was the actors and the production team were like kind of at a loss because you're you're getting rid of the captain in the middle of going out to sea. So what do? We can't just reboot it. We can't do anything like that. And then I think when Marvel's like, man, we make so much money off our movies, we can't just reboot this. People will just get them back. We'll make our $500 million minimum, and then we'll never deal with James Gunn again.
Well, that's why I'm not surprised. No, they're going to deal with him again. Are you
No,
kidding
he's
me?
moving on to Suicide Squad,
Yeah, but I mean, they're
which is a different company.
But Marvel's
So,
not done with James. In my
I think
opinion.
they are. Oh, I think they are.
I don't know.
They're going to get this money. They're going to get this movie production done, and they're not going to make another Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, that might be true.
So they're done with James Gunn. Like they're just not going. If they do another Guardians of the Galaxy, it's going to be like 3 years from now, where everyone's kind of moved on their own way, and it's like, okay, we'll just get some other cool director that is up and coming.
So you're saying Kevin Spacey's coming back then?
Just wait.
Okay.
Just
I
wait.
wouldn't doubt
He
it.
has been spotted.
He owns it.
around.
He owns that theater in England,
Just-
so he can definitely do
just
whatever he
wait.
wants
I
there.
mean, you know, time. Our attention span is so short. You know, we're on to the next thing, or the Trump says the next thing, or the next Michael Jackson documentary comes out.
Yeah.
And we can only focus for so long. And someone like James Gunn, in the grand scheme of like the Kevin Spaceys of the world, it's like basically with a lot of this stuff, if you do anything, you all get put into the same pot, which is like rapist, pedophile, right? He sent some tweets out that were in really poor taste a long time ago, right? Like it was a while back.
Well,
and someone dug them.
I think
which
what
that's
it
the new thing
is-
people are doing now is they're digging up your Twitter from 15 years ago.
Well, what it also is, it's you're controlling a burn because you don't know what else he's done.
Well, that's
So what
true.
happens when someone goes, "Look at these tweets I found. Imagine what else he's done." And now we're getting thousands of reporters going, "Oh, let's do some searching. Let's do some digging because there's got to be more." And that's why I'm so surprised Donald Trump's still around because you think they'd find something by now.
Well, they found quite a bit.
Yeah,
but
they did actually.
But I'm
find quite
talking
a bit.
real bad. I really wanted that pissing thing to be real.
Yeah.
But you know,
but it turns out it was R. Kelly.
yeah. and then- Wish somewhat fulfilled. Bad genie.
You know, if
bad genie.
if that turned out to be true, I don't think it would change.
Oh no, but
anything
it's
at
still
all.
good. It's still juice.
Still
So-
so
And,
gross.
and honestly, would you be
Trump
surprised?
juice.
Would you be surprised if it
No.
was true? See, nobody would.
No.
Nobody be surprised.
That's
They'd be
why
like,
it's
okay.
believable.
Yeah.
But
There you go.
no, I think with the James Gunn thing, I hope he made a lot more money with the renegotiations. And I think Disney, what they're trying to do is they're trying to control the inflow of what this movie was expected to make. Because you know they did like a cash reflect on like, all right, if we make Guardians of the Galaxy 3, what's our goal? 500 million. All right, so in a year from now, we're plus 500 million. Well, now we're not because we lost our director We need that pleasant. We already did the books. Come on, guys.
I guarantee by the time this movie comes out, nobody's going to say anything about James Gunn. Or if they do, it's going to be a small minority. And people are just going to be excited to see the movie. And I'm sure it's going to be great because he's done a really good job with all the others.
Yeah.
And the cast was all wanting him back.
Well, maybe somebody will throw
What's even more interesting
blood on him
with the
premiere.
situations, this is the first time.
Hope so. That'd be
This is the
interesting.
first time you're seeing a creative mind cross the bridge into DC. Because you know
An actual creative mind.
Well, I meant more of like
DC has been void of any creative
Well, I meant
mind.
more of like somebody who worked in the Marvel universe and it's like I'm switching teams and they're going over there. So I think that's kind of interesting, just because maybe that's will be okay between the people. Because I can totally see the Marvel folks going, "You're not allowed to work on DC stuff ever.
Yeah.
Like it's in your contract. You can never do it. It's a non-compete clause."
That's a good point, but I hope he
honestly-
brings some joy to Suicide Squad 2.
I don't
Like, can
think-
you imagine Samuel L. Jackson being in a DC movie?
No.
So, but I mean, like, do you think there's a clause in this
The
contract?
directors and actors probably have different rules.
I don't think Marvel views DC as a threat whatsoever
That-
at this
that
point.
might
It's not even that though, but it's like eventually, like for example, I can see that happening. I can totally see them saying you can't do any more other comic book movies outside of your character.
Maybe they even have that. It would be weird. It'd be a weird personal choice if you were someone like him. I mean, you get paid, make that
Because
money.
like Mark Strong,
Yeah,
I feel like he's been a villain in like 7 different comic book movies.
franchises.
Yeah, because I know he's coming up in Shazam. He's one of the villains in that, and I'm
He's a
pretty
perfect
sure
villain.
I'm pretty sure he was in Green Lantern. Pretty sure he was
Yeah,
in
I
Green
think so.
Lantern, wasn't he?
He was in Sherlock
I
Holmes.
don't, I don't
He was
even
a
know
bad-
who that is.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Oh, well, you do. You just
He
don't know.
played.
I'll look him up.
He's an English actor. He's in a bunch of Guy Ritchie films.
Yeah,
When you see him, you'll know. But like,
he's one of those guys.
Well, like for example, what's his name? The bad guy in the
Oh yeah.
in
okay.
the
yeah,
Captain Marvel. It's Middleton guy.
Oh,
He's the bad
Ben
guy in Star
Mendelsohn?
Wars, and
Yeah.
it's like Disney's going, "Hey, we'll put you in all these other movies that we're doing." That guy has to be making so much money.
Yeah, he's making
under
bank.
the radar. No one really knows.
All right, well, let's move on. I do want to do a trailer breakdown for our last piece of news. They've dropped a full-length trailer. I think this is the first full-length trailer for Toy Story 4. Now, Toy Story 4 is going to be huge, right? I mean, Chris, they're expecting this movie to be totally massive.
Yes.
Oh, maybe not?
Yeah. Yes, they are. I'm sure. But the trailer. I mean, we'll watch it.
Well, let's watch it. It comes out June
we'll watch it.
21st, so we've got a little time before it comes out. But let's check this out, and everybody watch along. If you're listening only audio, hold
Everyone,
this up and
Bonnie
watch it.
made a friend in class.
Oh, she's already making friends.
No, she literally made a new friend.
And is Bonnie
I want
Andy's
you to
son or
meet
something, probably?
Forky.
No.
He's a sport.
Yes, yeah, I know. Forky is the most important toy to Bonnie right now. We all have to make sure nothing happens to him.
Woody, we have a situation.
I am not a toy. I was made for soup, salad, maybe chili, and then the trash.
Buzz, we've got to get Forky.
Affirmative.
Why am I alive? You're Bonnie's toy. You are going to help create happy memories
Hanks has
that
the
will
perfect
last
voice.
for the rest of her life.
Huh? What?
What are we working on with Toy Story right now? Is this like a 20-year span?
Gotta be.
Bo, Forky, come on. Bo?
Because I always wondered, like, what more story does
We
Woody
can't
need
stay.
to tell?
Yeah, well, I think that's part of the problem with this one. Maybe.
That's a dummy from Goosebumps, right?
What are you
Is
doing?
it?
I think it's
here?
just
No
a
time to
typical
explain.
dummy.
Come with me.
We need to get back to our kid.
Aw, Sheriff Woody, always coming to the rescue.
This is where I wish Bo had had like a really dark
Woody,
side.
Who needs a kid's room when you can have all of this?
Clearly at the carnival. That's what's available to him
Are
now.
we going to Bonnie?
If you're not listening, you need to look up Forky.
Yeah, he looks ridiculous.
What do you do? Jump out of a moving vehicle? Let's go. You gotta go. You gotta
You think they're gonna acknowledge iPhones in this one?
Well, I think what they're going to do
Why is this little girl not playing on
is
her
in
iPad?
like 10 years from now, they'll be like, why does a kid have so many toys?
Open your eyes, Woody.
All you need is one
There's
device.
Plenty of kids out there. Sometimes change can be good.
You can't teach this old toy new tricks.
You'd be surprised.
Bonnie? We're going home, Forky.
I don't know.
On my way, Woody. To infinity and beyond.
Boom. That's Nicolas Cage, I think.
Kids lose their toys
Or no,
every
it's Keanu
day.
Reeves.
I was made to help a child. I don't remember it being
Well, I mean,
this hard.
I think it's going to be a good kids movie, and I think that's what the purpose is.
Yeah.
Everything's gonna be okay.
And it looks like it's got some heart. You know, that's one of the things. Toy Story movies always have that kind of heart element to them.
Yeah,
Well, I'm more interested in that round table discussion of the creative process. Hey, you ever had those toys that you made in class with your glue gun?
Yeah, and there was like, no.
And like out of a fork, a spork.
Toy Story,
Everybody knows that, right?
Toy Story 3 wrapped up so perfectly. The end of Toy Story 3 is
Was
it's
perfect.
fantastic.
It was very perfect.
I have no idea what the end of Toy Story
Great
3
job.
was.
Well, Andy's, I forget it, but it was really good. I remember being very emotionally moved. This just kind of misses the mark. Like, it doesn't seem like it would top the third one. It's just sort of a different story that seems lackadaisical.
I don't think I can't imagine it'll be better than Toy Story 3, but Toy Story 1 is like 97% Rotten Tomatoes, Toy Story 2 is like 99, and Toy Story 3 is like 100%. I mean, they're all like the highest rated movies. I just feel like you got to trust them here, though.
That was not a good trailer.
Well-
I'd like to see a second version of the trailer.
And maybe it was just a case of a bad trailer, but when you have Pixar and you have this property, you know they're going to put their effort into it to make it good. I'm sure it'll turn out to be something good, and I bet there'll be some heart to it. The one thing I would say, and to your point, is just like at some point, can't we let things end perfectly and not have to reopen them back up? I know there's money to be made. Yeah. I know, I get it. But there's also like the artistic, creative element as well. So I wish they would have done that with this one, but they didn't. But I hope they do a good job. I hope it's one that's worth bringing it back out. You know, sometimes like Anchorman 2 or whatever, you know, like we've been waiting 20 years and you watch it, you're like, okay, well, maybe we should have just let it live with number one. Anyways, Dick, let's go to break. What do you think, man? When we come back, we will we'll hit the rewinds for the movies we watched last week. Chris, what did you watch?
Walk in the Woods. I'm finally going to do that.
All right. And Dick, what about you? You have a movie?
Jurassic Park, Lost Kingdom.
I thought you talked about that last time.
No, I talked about Skyscraper.
Oh, no, you said you were going to watch it last time. That's right.
I actually know what I'm watching, and I try to get the audience to know I'm doing next week, too.
Yeah, that's really amazing.
Unlike
of
you guys, I don't know what y'all do.
No, nothing.
It's like I have a good plan, and then I just completely go.
That's pretty much how mine is, too, every time.
Yeah.
I actually watched 2. I'm going to talk very shortly about each one.
I'm surprised you didn't see the Leprechaun deal.
Everybody hear the Leprechaun say,
You didn't see that? Sci-Fi was doing like a 10-hour Leprechaun.
Yeah, I saw their
and then they released
movie.
the newest one at the end of it.
Yeah, I saw it. I'm pretty sure I saw that one.
No, it came out last weekend, so I doubt you. Did you see
Did it really?
Yeah, they did 10 hours, and then at the end of the 10-hour marathon, they released the newest one.
Well, I'm going to look that up.
Chris is pissed. Pause the show.
We'll be back.
Yeah, we'll be right back. I'm gonna be talking about Free Solo and Netflix's new movie Triple Frontier. So stick with us here on the Ticket Stub.
Let's begin, pal.
For those of you who like your partners, your gumbo, and your music salty, well, we're here to help with the music. Julian Shea here, host of Lone Star Country Nights Thursday, your weekly dose of roots and Americana and all the music that makes this part of the country special. We stir in Western swing, honky-tonk, Zydeco, Texas blues, outlaw country, and put a pinch of red dirt, and then we smoke it over a slow fire. Then listen to the results Thursday nights on Conroe's 104.5 and 106.1 and worldwide at irlonestar.com.
The Ticket Stub is sponsored by the Grand Theater and Amstar Cinemas.
With 18 locations around the country, the Grand Theater and Amstar Cinemas bring you the latest in state-of-the-art projection and sound,
including Fathom Events and Flashback Cinema.
Did you know your local Grand or Amstar Cinema serves a wide variety of adult beverages?
And some even have a full bar.
And moms, they didn't forget about you. They also have a large selection of wine to help you get through those kids' movies.
Visit your local Grand or Amstar Cinema today.
An estimated 1 in 10 births will result in a neonatal intensive care stay, also known as the NICU. Overnight, a family can find themselves and their newborn baby in a critical situation. The Mila Foundation financially and spiritually assists families in need. If you would like to volunteer or become a monthly sponsor, please visit us at www.themilafoundation.org. Again, that's www.themilafoundation.org, because every life matters.
Lone Star Community Radio is looking for those who are interested in hosting their own talk show with monthly and weekly slots available on Conroe's FM 104.5 and 106.1 and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the station message line at 936-647-3776.
We're back on the Ticket Stub. If you missed this last segment, we did movie news. We talked about Nicolas Cage doing jujitsu, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 coming back for some James Gunn. And then we did a Toy Story trailer breakdown for Toy Story 4 coming out June 21st. A little bit of mixed reviews on that. Now we're going to do the rewinds. This is the part of the show where we talk about the movies that we've seen over the last week. Hopefully give some recommendations, maybe either something for you to watch or something for you to avoid. Chris, you watched one that you're supposed to... was this assigned to you? What?
No, it was a couple of shows ago. I said I was going to watch it, and I switched it, and then
And you just never did. You're a liar is basically what you're saying.
I was not forthcoming with accuracy.
Okay, so yes. Okay, that's a good way to say it. Very politically correct of you. All right, we'll talk about A Walk in the Woods.
Well, this is A Walk in the Woods. It's Robert Redford, Nick Nolte, and Emma Thompson. And the plot is, after spending 2 decades in England, Bill Bryson, that's Robert Redford, returns to the U.S., where he decides the best way to connect with his homeland is to hike the Appalachian Trail with one of his oldest friends. Now, did you say you went on the Appalachian Trail?
I never have. No, I'd like to.
Okay, I thought you did.
No, I have not. If I ever get fired and have nothing to do, and if my life falls apart, I'm going to go hike the Appalachian Trail. So this could be a roadmap for that.
Yeah. Well, it's 46% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Maybe it's not a roadmap for that then.
No, it's rapid fire movie review.
Come on, baby.
Movie.
Hit us.
Peter Bradshaw, The Guardian. Robert Redford's performance is really so stilted. It's as if he's playing Bill Bryson the way a famous writer with no performance skills might play himself. Ooh, bam. Pat Padua, the DCist, American Pie for nursing homes. That makes no sense
That
at all.
does not make
if
any
you watch
sense.
The movie. And the last one, Kathy Fennessy from The Stranger. It's enough to make those grumpy old men movies seem like masterworks of grace and subtlety. Well, first of all, the grumpy old men movies are amazing. So
Do you think sometimes with the reviews they come up with something they think sounds like quippy, even though it doesn't, like American Pie for the nursing home?
Yeah.
Even though like it's okay, it's old people.
First of all, it's not American Pie-ish whatsoever. I don't.
Well, I think it also depends on where you're working. Like if whatever the critic where they're working, because they have that. Write the article for the Chicago Times readers.
Yeah.
Write the article for the Page 6 readers.
I just feel like he came up with that, and it didn't matter if it applied or not. He thought it was like really cool and clever.
I mean, it's the plot really is very thin, and seeing Nick Nolte nowadays is it's concerning because I don't know if he's acting so much as that's just how he is now.
He just seems unhealthy,
especially vocally.
Yeah,
like it's like his throat has been ripped out or something. It's very ripped out.
Is he Bradley Cooper in
Stars
Born?
No, it's like
he
talks like this the whole time.
He does. His voice is alarming. It's alarming.
It is really. I mean, is this movie funny? It has its moments. It's not overall. It's not that funny.
Is it motivating?
Is this movie funny? No.
It is
is
not,
it good?
It
Also
is not
no.
motivating. Is the writing good? Not particularly. But I think it's one of those movies, and it's a lot like, I guess, All Is Lost, where Robert Redford's just such a cool dude, and Nick Nolte's such a cool dude that you can just watch them do whatever, and it's entertaining. It's like you can't really take your eyes off them and stuff. So their performances are pretty good, but the movies it's not really well written, and
okay.
It's
where would you
okay.
watch it?
I watched on Amazon Prime.
So you can stream it today if you have an Amazon Prime account.
Yeah.
And waste your time.
Cool.
If you have an hour and 44 minutes to waste, this is a good way to do it.
Cool.
Actually, maybe not that good of a way to do it.
Well,
I don't know.
it's if I would say for older folks, it's a great film.
Oh, it's American Pie for the nursing home.
There
So
you
I guess
go.
so. All right, Dick, what'd you see?
I saw
Jurassic.
the newest Jurassic Park Fallen Kingdom came out in 2018. It is streaming available on HBO.
And your biggest question is, why is she not in prison, right?
Oh, that's one of them. It is a continuation off the previous one, which was Jurassic World, which I believe came out in 2015. So it's been 3 years since we've seen a Jurassic Park movie. This one is when an island's dormant volcano begins roaring to life. Owen and Claire mount a campaign to rescue the remaining dinosaurs from the extinction level event. So if you remember from when we last left off, everyone left the island again, and the dinosaurs are stuck on it. And now there's a volcano on the island, and now it's exploding. So we introduced this movie with, of course, the government trying to figure out if they need to save these dinosaurs or not.
Is this the one where they're selling the dinosaurs?
Well, that was the underground market.
Okay.
So overall, this movie, I think overall this movie was enjoyable in the sense of going to the movies, getting a bag of popcorn. Now, when you left the movie, you'd be like, the movie sucked. But watching, you're like, okay, I was entertained the entire time, and of course the charm of Chris Pratt, it was there, which was great, and there was a lot of directions they were going with the movie, but they didn't bring it to its full capabilities with the topics. So like one topic which was interesting was, are these protective species?
Okay.
Because, right now, for example, if any species is going to be extinct, Greenpeace or whoever is going to be like, we got to save, the whales, things like that. So they had a little bit about that, which was really cool. And then they had other elements like,
well, because it was like they're created by humans, right?
Yeah. So they're not they had a bunch of scenes actually where Jeff Goldblum, his scenes were just him sitting in a seat in front of all this Congress people, basically saying, these people, these aliens, these dinosaurs just need to be extinct. Like they were extinct once. Yeah. Let the volcano do what it's supposed to do. This is nature. Just let it be. And so that was kind of the theme of the whole movie, is that kind of thing. But then they did other things. They had cloning in it, which was a really cool surprise. So spoiler alert there. And but I'm not telling you what.
Spoiler alert after.
I'm not telling you where. But then they had the selling of the animals, which to me, it had its place, because that's the kind of the technology written into these animals is, there's got to be a cost to it. But then they one-upped it and goes, oh, we didn't just have a T-Rex. We made this killing machine. Endoraptor.
They always have to up the ante with a new dinosaur each time.
And I'm sitting there going, like, this movie went from a really cool, like, where are we taking these dinosaurs? Is there a place for this kind of stuff? To let's have this guy escape and just start killing and hunting people. And I'm like, man, this movie went from big scale to small scale real fast. And it really, I lost interest right when that happened.
It's like they can't help themselves. They have to bring in the newest, biggest, baddest, creature to come and attack or kill or whatever.
Yeah, and
else.
it's like, you can buy this animal, we'll train it, and has it go. Like they had this thing where if you point a laser at something and you turn this button, it will attack it and kill it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, so once you turn that off, what happens? Like, and of course that goes wrong. And
what?
Yeah. And
you mean the cages can't hold the dinosaurs?
Yeah. And I think overall the character development didn't really go anywhere. And that was kind of unfortunate because Chris Pratt's character is kind of funny. You meet him, he's working on his house, of course, somewhere in beautiful Wyoming or whatever, drinking a beer. And he's just like, I'm working on my roof.
Let me wrench on this motorcycle a little bit.
And then they just villainized B.D. Wong's character completely. Yeah. So he was the one he's the mastermind behind, creating these dinosaurs. And then
Rafe Spall, you could tell he was the bad guy immediately. Spoiler alert, right? Yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where as soon as he walks in, you're like, okay, he's bad.
Yeah. What happened to him? He did that movie and hadn't done anything else.
Well, because he was so bad.
Yeah,
he was creepy.
This movie, what's strange to me,
no,
what's strange to me about the Jurassic Park franchise is, they're trying to make it is just like any other large franchise where they're going to make X amount of dollars, no matter what. And to me, this fell short to where you think they're going to continue it. That's a big question because this one wasn't very entertaining. And the next one, if they do make it, needs to either go all for it or they need to reboot it.
It was nice to see James Cromwell. I was surprised that he was in it.
Yeah, because I completely forgot that he was part of the whole original business with David. What's his name? Sir David or
Richard Attenborough.
Richard Attenborough.
That's the character.
And so
actor.
And I really like
John Hammond.
that's one thing I didn't really get is the first Jurassic Park created a very cool story that I kept wanting to watch. Mm-hmm. So when I left Jurassic Park, the original, I was like, I really want to know what these characters are doing after next. And they never completely committed to it. They kind of go, like, if you remember Jurassic, was it Jurassic World? Or was it Jurassic Park 2, whatever they called it? They kind of had like three lines. Lost World. Yeah. So they had like 3 lines. Oh, this is what happened to Sam Neill and his bro. He broke up with his wife. They're gone. They're not in this anymore.
Yeah, kind of brutal.
And then you see the kids for like 5 seconds, and then it went on with Jeff Goldblum's character, which to me was the worst character out of all of them because he was always just there. Yeah. He had no input on it, and he wasn't smart. He wasn't a strong character, meaning like physical. Like he wouldn't be able to fight off things.
Mm-hmm.
A dinosaur. He couldn't fight a dinosaur.
Yeah.
Do you watch the streaming or how do you find
It's on
it?
HBO. Okay. You can stream it now, and if you have time, right now HBO has a lot of great action movies available.
Yeah, they really do.
So I would say put this in your queue, but don't make it number 1. I don't see them making another movie, so you don't really have to pay attention to this one to understand the next one because it probably won't exist. So don't worry about it.
Yeah, I hope they don't. Although Chris Pratt must be like the richest guy in Hollywood. He's
Yeah.
he's leading all these massive, all
You
these
know what
franchises.
he needs to do? A romantic comedy. He has not done that
No,
yet.
He'd be perfect
No,
for
he
that
doesn't.
too.
I think he
would
would.
be perfect for that.
No, what he needs to do is he needs to talk to Steven Spielberg and like, get me on this Indiana Jones franchise.
Ooh, he'd be a good Indiana
And
Jones.
He would be a
so
great Indiana
That's what
Jones.
he. If I was his whatever creative team, like, you need to get on this thing.
Although Shia LaBeouf, I think, already has that pencil.
No, he's not like.
I'm just
he's
kidding.
not like him.
All right, I got two real quick I'm going to talk about. The first one was Free Solo. This is one I've talked about several times on the show, so I don't need to say a whole lot about it. But Lindsay and I finally watched it. This movie was amazing, okay? This is about Alex Honnold and his attempt to be the first person to free solo climb El Capitan.
The Academy Award winning.
This actually did win an Academy
Yes, it
Award.
did.
Yeah, you can't just say that to everything we talk about, although you will be right sometimes. If you don't know what free solo means, it's where you climb a rock face without any rope and without any people helping you. So you're all alone, no rope. If you fall, you die. Essentially what it is. El Capitan is a 3,000-foot vertical climb that he does. And it's been climbed by a bunch of people over time, and slowly they've gotten faster and faster at it. When it first got climbed, it took them like several days to do, and now they can do it in a day. But it just follows him around as far as where his headspace is at. One of the funniest parts to me was he went to a doctor and actually got like his frontal lobe tested to see if he responds to stress and fear in a normal way. And he basically doesn't. Like, they were doing like these things that normally would make you light up with like stuff, and his was just totally dead. So whatever that stuff that makes you like afraid of heights or nervous about falling to your death on a 3,000-foot climb, like that stuff doesn't light up on him at all. So he's able to do these unbelievable feats without any anxiety about it really whatsoever. And so that kind of aided him in some ways. And it also talked about the camera crew and the ethics of filming somebody on something where like he's their friend, because they were all climbers too, but also filmmakers. Like, he's their friend. What if he does die? I mean, obviously, by the time the movie gets made, you're pretty confident he's going to make it. They wouldn't probably have showed that otherwise. But when they're filming it, they had no idea. And so, and some of the good scenes are him and his girlfriend. He gets his girlfriend like halfway through it. Dude, he's brutal. He's brutal. Like, not mean, but just so honest. She'll be like, she'll say something like, if I told you I'm going to break up with you if you still want to do this, would that be enough to stop you? And he's like, no. I mean, he does not.
How do you not know the answer to that?
Oh, I know, but it's just like she was trying to like.
You're talking about a guy who literally lives for the thrill.
But that's exactly it, though. Like, you think sometimes like a female can kind of soften you up a little bit, or like, it changes your priorities. But for him, it didn't change any priorities whatsoever.
Talking about a guy or a person, it doesn't matter what gender.
Yeah, come on, dude.
Who climbs mountains without a rope.
Yeah.
So you're trying to ask, let's bring you back to earth, man. Let me ask you some practical questions.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you love me?
Yeah, and he also lives in a van.
Yeah, like, I don't see any of the logic being applied there that I would apply to my normal
She should
life.
think, if he won't even wear a rope, how is he going to wear a ring?
Oh,
that's what she should think.
If you like it, you better put a rope on it. That's her. That's her. That's her thing.
I mean, imagine being married to him and then he dies. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
didn't see that coming.
I predict 2 years he's dead.
Oh,
You think
God.
so?
That's why I say, yeah.
I mean, I know it's a high risk rate climbing mountains.
That's another thing they talked about is every person who pushed the edges of free soloing died like pretty young. So
I would imagine
so. That's kind of sad. Yeah. All right, so free solo, but like, watch this movie. It's so good. It's so good. And Jimmy Chin and his wife, I forget her name. It's kind of long and hard to say. The two of them made this other movie, Maru, which is so good. Like, they're awesome. Anything they do, I'm in for. And Alex Honnold, he's a character, and the movie's intense, really good. Quickly, I also want to talk about Triple Frontier. This is a Netflix release.
Yeah.
This is the one. Have y'all seen this?
I've heard about it.
Ben Affleck, Oscar Isaac, Charlie Hunnam, Garrett Hedlund, Pedro Pascal are pretty much the people that you've heard of, and they're the main five that it follows around. The plot is loyalties are tested when five former Special Forces operatives reunite to steal a drug lord's fortune, unleashing a chain of unintended consequences. Basically, this is like a ex-military heist on a drug lord and then try to get the money back type situation. It has... this movie was on the precipice of being the greatest thing ever. And then it, instead of just blowing out the action, decided to like focus on the relationships of these five guys. And it was good, but it could have been like a Predator type. Like, it could have been like that type. I feel like they were setting it up. They even hit they said, I was the best of the best, and it's like, I'm doing one more job. And like, I don't have time for this. Like, they're saying all the kind of things that like an 80s action movie would say. It's on Netflix. I mean, it definitely keeps your attention. I will say it dragged a little bit in the middle, but I mean, it's got 5 guys that I really like, all 5 of them. They've all been in things that I really enjoy. And anyways, I think it was overall a good movie. I enjoyed it. It's on Netflix for free, so definitely if you're wanting something action, kind of a shoot 'em up, it had plenty of that. Had a couple good headshots. I could have used about 3 times more action though. That would have been, I think, the right formula for me. And then also they get all this money, and then it's, they end up not having an easy escape. I'll just say that. And so they're trudging, like, I think they said like over 100 duffel bags full of cash, and they're just like throwing them like 10 feet at a time, like for miles. like it seems terrible. Anyways, it's overall pretty good. Triple Frontier. Check it out on Netflix if you want to see that. All right, cool. Let's go to break. When we get back from break, we're going to be doing our top 3 creeps, where we go 3, 2, 1, saying the top 3 creeps, characters in movies that we could think of. So stick with us, and we'll do that here on the Ticket Stub.
The Ticket Stub is sponsored by the Grand Theater and Amstar Cinemas.
With 18 locations around the country, the Grand Theater and Amstar Cinemas bring you the latest in state-of-the-art projection and sound,
including Fathom Events and Flashback Cinema.
Did you know your local Grand or Amstar Cinema serves a wide variety of adult beverages?
And some even have a full bar.
And moms, they didn't forget about you. They also have a large selection of wine to help you get through those kids' movies.
Visit your local Grand or Amstar Cinema today.
This is Rick, TRC. Every Tuesday on my show, Afternoons with Lone Star from 3 to 7, I play back-to-back classic rock hits. That's right. I like to call it a 2 for Tuesday or a 3 for whatever it is you'd like. Call the request line, 936-647-3776, or message me on Facebook, Afternoons with Lone Star, make a music request. That's right, you can do it. Here's what else. Go over to our website, irlonestar.com. Get the app on your phone. It's easy. You'll like it.
Statistics show that 1 out of every 6 Texans struggles with food insecurity and hunger. And many people don't eat enough fruits and vegetables every day. The Better Living for Texans program is here to help you learn how to make healthy menu choices, save money at the grocery store, prepare quick and delicious meals, get more good nutrition in your day, and get more physical activity. Classes are fun, friendly, interactive, and free, and taught in English and Spanish. We are Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, helping Texans make their lives better.
Our talk shows and music shows are looking for sponsors. Want to expand your brand awareness? Reach the hyper-local audience in Montgomery County? Lone Star Community Radio sponsorships accomplish this. Want to see our stats and rates? Check out irlonestar.com/sponsor for more information. Or call in and leave us a message at 936-647-3776 with your questions. Get seen on TV, YouTube, and heard on our podcast, FM, and internet radio. Support your local radio station with Lone Star Community Radio.
Listen in Mondays at noon to hear Conroe news from local nonprofits, businesses, upcoming events, Conroe Park events, news stories, and information that matters to you with your host, Margie Taylor of Taylorized PR. For more information about being a guest, visit irlonestar.com/Conroe Culture.
We're back on the Ticket Stub.
All right, yeah.
Yeah. Last segment, we talked about our rewinds. I did Free Solo and Triple Frontier. Dick talked about Jurassic Park Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever it's called. Those titles, the subtitles get so generic. Jurassic Park, Oblivion, And it's like, okay, what does that even mean to anything? And then, Chris, you talked about
Well, what's weird about that title, too, is it fell the previous movie. So, like, it's abandoned now.
Yeah.
So it's not falling.
That's what I'm saying. That's my point. Like, they just find, like, words that test well with an audience. Jurassic Park, Back to the Abyss. That's the next one. It's going to be.
Yeah.
Probably not. All right, we're going to do top
Fossilized.
Fossilized. Petrified forest. Okay, we're going to do our top 3 creeps. So we talked already a little bit about criteria for creeps. Basically, I think there was a general feeling of didn't like to see them, didn't like to watch them, left you feeling kind of weird. We all know what a creep is, right? In fact, some of you listening probably are creeps. And so you could say, like, I can relate to this very well.
Send us a script about your life.
Or just a creepy picture. No, please don't do that. What made me think about this, and this is going to be a little bit offensive possibly, but I was watching, I watched The Abducted in Plain Sight 2 weeks ago. That dude, major creep. I haven't watched the Michael Jackson stuff, but I probably will. I heard a lot about it. Pretty creepy, okay? And so these documentaries about all these guys who are being super creepy.
The creepiest thing about that, and this is what blows my mind about that entire scenario, because you don't really know what's true or not, but what you know what's true, and it's not denied.
I never believed
is the boys slept in the same bed as Michael Jackson.
Yes.
And I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't think I've ever heard that being the norm. Ever. Like, ever in society. No. Like, it's not like...
Unless you watch Abducted with Plain Sight, in which case it was the norm for that family.
And then the parents...
The Brobergs.
And I don't know if the parents knew it at the time, but when they heard about it, wouldn't you immediately go, out, we're out of this? Like...
Yeah, we're out, and I'm beating you to a pulp. Like, I don't care if you're the king of pop or whatever.
We're just sleeping together.
Oh, that's a terrible accent.
You make him the king of getting popped.
Yeah, something like that.
So creep. So besides real creepers,
besides real life creeps, let's talk about movie creeps. Okay, we'll go our third, our second, and then our first. Chris, let's start with you. Who's your number 3 creep?
Number 3 creep is Gollum from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Gollum.
Especially in Return of the King at the beginning, where you see him
kill
the
transformation.
that other little guy, and he transforms. Yes, very creepy.
That was such a good way to do that.
Yeah, it was.
Like, so well done watching him slowly become Gollum. I think he probably would have just died of exposure, right? Like, not become another creature.
Probably.
But I guess the ring did it to him. Gollum. Okay, what year was... do you remember? It was...
2006?
Was it Return of the King, you said?
Two Towers was 2002.
Oh, well then no.
Was it Two Towers?
No, it was Return of the King.
Oh, that was 2003. 2003 was Return of the Towers. Gollum. All right, very creepy.
Return of the Towers. I like
Return to the Towers, yeah. Lost World. Lord of the Rings, Lost Fallen World.
Yeah.
Dick, what was your number 3?
Mine actually is same franchise. It was Wormtongue.
Wormtongue. Also
I really
very
thought
creepy.
played by Brad Dourif.
Yeah.
He's a wonderful actor,
Voice of
wonderful
Chucky.
character. Yeah, wonderful character actor.
He was the voice of
he
Chucky.
did it. He
Voice
did
of
it
Chucky.
well. If you don't know who Wormtongue is, you need to check out the movie. And he's the one that is the spellcaster.
He's creepy
on the
AF.
king, and that whole scene was really creepy.
Yeah.
And his whole
The crazy part of that was once the guy goes away, once Wormtongue leaves, and then the king is all strong and vital, but he was all they did it. Man,
well, it was
those
funny.
movies are so
I
good.
always figured when the old king gets revitalized, you would think the spell would eventually be broken on Wormtongue because he's being controlled. But no, he's still ugly and creepy no matter what happens to him.
He's just a creep for the sake of being a creep.
Yeah.
Well, my number 3 is from a little movie called Fear from 1996.
Oh, yeah.
David McCall, which is Mark Wahlberg's character. Have you seen this movie?
No.
You should. This is actually a good movie. I remember seeing it. I was probably too young when I saw this for the first time. There is that one good scene where they're in the carousel, and I think Wild Horses is playing or something like that, and they're getting a little fresh on the carousel. But basically, Mark Wahlberg falls in love with Reese Witherspoon, and then
hard.
Yeah, and then he becomes a little creep, and he is stalking and doing all sorts of weird
his character. He really reminded me of Robert De Niro's character in Cape Fear.
Yeah.
And I'm like, these guys are just getting creepy.
Yeah,
getting creepy.
Getting creepy with it, man. Yeah, getting creepy with it. He does a tattoo of her name on his chest with a big pin, which is pretty intense. At that point, you've crossed the line.
With
I would
his own
say.
hand?
I think he did it himself. If I remember, it's been a while, but if I remember, he somehow
he's doing it in the mirror.
Used a needle in the mirror or whatever. What's embarrassing is he did it backwards because he was looking. No, I'm just kidding. But but he's looking in the mirror. He does his own tattoo.
hot.
Fairly creepy. Super hot though.
So hot.
Yeah. Chris, what's your number 2?
Number 2 is Percy from the Green Mile. The bad guy, basically.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The other guard who's the little wiener guy.
Yeah.
That guy's
The
very
wiener
creepy.
guy.
Doug Hutchinson is his name. He actually married a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
They're
So he's a
divorced
creep
now.
in real life too.
I believe he is. Yeah. So that's why it made.
He
it
wasn't even
believable.
acting. He wasn't even acting. He was
Right.
just being himself.
They're divorced now, though. So.
Oh, she's 17 and they decided to get divorced. She has her whole life ahead of her.
Which I think she's 18 or 19.
Oh gosh. The greatest part of that movie is when he pulls the sickness out of the dude's private part, right? Isn't that a thing? Am I making that up?
What?
Not out of his private part,
Well-
but it's out of his body.
Oh, out of his body. Okay. For some reason,
Well, it's out of every hole, so you can imagine where you want to go with
yeah,
that.
that includes private parts
Yeah.
for sure. All right, what's your number 2, Dick?
My number 2 is actually a tie. It is 2 characters who play minor roles. One is in Con Air. It is a Steve Buscemi's character.
Yes, yes.
Scarlet Green. I just creepy. Just full on creepy.
Poor Steve Buscemi is just a creepy looking dude.
Just full on creepy, man.
If he got braces, it would probably help. But then he'd be kind of a creepy dude with straight teeth, I guess.
And then the second one was in the Kill Bill franchise, Michael Bowen, who plays Buck. That guy, he's the guy, he was the orderly where she was in a coma.
Oh,
and
yes.
yeah, so
Yes.
if you don't remember that, y'all need to check it out. It's just creepy, and that's a real deal. So
yeah. Was he getting it on with dead people?
He was getting it on, and he was selling it. So when she was in her coma, he was selling her.
Well, hey, you got to have your side hustle, man.
So,
you know, you got to have your side hustle.
I mean, that was creepy. And then, so that was the tie. I figure they're kind of equal.
Yeah, you got to make that money.
So
my number 2, John Doe, Kevin Spacey from the movie 7, 1995.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty creepy dude, you know, pretty creepy. Not creepy in the traditional sense of like a worm tongue or a golem. Like he was not appealing with the bald head. That was kind of off-putting a little bit. But just creepy the way he was like so sociopathic, you know, the way he was talking to them and the things he was saying, especially in that last bit where they're in the car riding out to the middle of that field and you know, when what's in the box starts happening and everything like that. Just I mean, you know, no, Kevin Spacey, creepy in real life also, but he's a fantastic actor. And you know, all that aside, the dude can act. But he was super creepy in that role. Chris, number 1.
Number 1 for me is Willard from the movie Willard.
Yeah.
Crispin Glover.
That's offensive just because you don't like little people or what? Wait,
no,
that's Willow. Sorry, which one's Willard?
Willard is a guy who he befriends rats, and he has an army of rats.
It's creepy.
Or whatever.
It's like the Pied Piper, huh?
Yeah, Arlie Ermey's in it, who's also very creepy in that movie. But no, it's a movie. Crispin Glover generally creeps me out anytime I see him, even in Back to the Future. So
he has an army of rats. What's he do with them? Like, what's the purpose if you have an army of rats?
He kind of like befriends rats, basically, and so they end up killing like.
Is this a real photo from the movie?
It is indeed.
Okay,
yes.
that's creepy. I have not seen this. That's very creepy.
Oh, it's a great movie. You should check it out.
Okay. Willow, less creepy unless you don't like little people. That's more of a happy movie, I guess.
Yeah. You know, it's hard to find Willow streaming. I really want to watch that again, and I'm having a hard time finding it.
Really?
Yeah.
I do not need to watch it again. Okay, Dick, number 1 for you.
Number 1, it would be the face hugger from the Alien franchise.
Oh, yes, fairly creepy.
Yeah, that's a creepy character. Always gets me because you always know what it's going to do.
It's going to hug that face.
And it's going to hug that face of whatever animal, human, whatever it can find.
Man, beast.
Yeah. So, that still gives me the willies.
The willies. Got to hug that face, man. My number 1, I thought y'all were going to steal it 2 different times. Also from The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, Denethor, who is Boromir and Faramir's dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dude up in the tower.
Eats a lot of chicken.
Dude, that one scene where like whichever one of the little guys was singing the song or whatever, and he's eating like he bites the tomato and like red stuff shoots out and everything, and then he's all like, "My sons are dead," and he tries to. Dude, creepy, man. That stuck with me forever. He's got that stringy black hair. He's all pale. He's honestly probably not as creepy as Wormtongue or Gollum, but for some reason that guy he's stuck with me so much more than all the other characters. Just because it was just weird. It was just and he's gonna kill himself and he sucked also, and I mean all the other things mixed together. Denethor, not a good dude. So that's our top 3 creeps. If y'all have a creep that we didn't mention, please tweet at us at @the_TicketStub or Facebook the Ticket Stub Podcast. We also, if you do that, you'll be entered into a chance to win 2 tickets to the Grand Theater and Amstar Cinema. We have opportunities to win every single show, so make sure you're doing that. And also go, we're working on something where we can get everything centralized on one website as far as YouTube, Facebook, our social media updates about the show, everything. So be looking for that. Make sure you're telling a friend about the show. We love you, listeners. And we've got some good stuff next week. What are we doing next week, Chris?
I'm sorry. Yes, we're watching. It's our group rewind of Batman Returns.
Woo! But how are we doing it though, man?
They
don't need to know this.
Yeah.
Oh, is it special?
Yeah, it'll be a surprise.
Okay, a special way. We're doing Batman Returns for next week.
Because they can't get involved, so screw them.
Oh, screw them. But they might think it's cool. Okay, but we'll talk about it all next week. So be looking for that. It'll be a special show. And so, anyways, got excited about Batman Returns. We got to close it out. For Chris, for Dick, my name is Connor. We're signing off on the Ticket Stub.